Okay. Good evening. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Welcome to the zoning board meeting of March 17, 2021. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the
Di
open
ba ang telephone imo bakilak?
MGL Chapter 30A, Section 20, relating to the 2020 novel coronavirus outbreak emergency, the March 17, 2021, 7 o'clock public meeting of the Norfolk Zoning Board of Appeals shall be physically closed to the public to avoid group congregation. Alternative public access to this meeting shall be made utilizing the Zoom virtual meeting software for remote access. The software will allow users to view the meeting and send a question or comment to the chair via the raise your hand function. The meeting will be recorded for future rebroadcast by Norfolk Community Television. Thank you very much for attending. Before we begin tonight, I'd like to share something with the board. For the last 14 plus years, I have served the town of Norfolk as its animal inspector. I think I've dealt with at least 3 of the board members on issues relating to animal inspection. At last night's select board meeting, the town administrator directed and provided the select board with a resident from Sheldonville to replace me in the 21-22 calendar year as animal inspector. There was no discussion with me. There was no forewarning. The only way I realized this was by actually watching the select board meeting. Neither the town administrator nor any member of the select board contacted me. Matter of fact, the police chief, who I have a dotted line reporting to, was completely unaware of the appointment. As you can imagine, I conclude that this was a political move against me, motivated by my efforts for good government, no waste, and to root out corruption. Obviously, my efforts were thought. I enjoyed this position because as a resident and connecting with many of these people during zoning board meetings, you also got to deal with them one-on-one and deal with their animals, which is something I'm very passionate about. Obviously, the manner in which this played out is very disturbing to me. It is not indicative of the character and the class that Norfolk is known for. And it's disturbing to see the manner in which our town government is moving. Because of this, I feel I can no longer serve the town of Norfolk as the select board chair and as a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals. For the last 14 years, being mentored by Vice Chairman Kaliza and working with Joe Sebastiano, I think this board has done a great deal of good. We've passed 5 40Bs, countless appeals, countless special permits, and countless variance requests. I think we've had a good balance between our zoning bylaws and working with people in town and developers to provide a great product and fair government with regard to our zoning. Mike and Joe, I'm sorry. I appreciate your mentoring. Tim and Josie, I wish you the best of luck. Learn your zoning bylaws. Stephanie, you will be an outstanding administrator. You've already shown that. And I think the town is fortunate to have you in this position. I'm sure it will not be the last position you hold in Norfolk. But I feel it is now time and effective immediately I am providing my resignation to the town of Norfolk, the zoning board. I'd also like to thank, most of all, Marie Simpson. When I joined this board in 2008, I knew how to spell zoning, but that's about all I knew. And in a very short time, working as the clerk under Chairman Kaliza and working with Marie Simpson tirelessly, I learned zoning probably the hard way within 6 months. And I stuck and I got it. So special thanks to Marie 14 years ago for her help in getting me to understand and appreciate zoning in our town. I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best. And at this time, I will turn the gavel over to Chairman Kaliza. Thank you very much and good night.
Well, I don't want to say thank you. That's a bit of a shock to all of us. I'm at a loss for words at this moment. And I don't want to continue this meeting tonight. I am not prepared to chair this meeting. If there's another board member that wants to step forward, please feel free to. But at this time, I'm not prepared to run this meeting tonight. So if some other member of the board wants to take over or express their opinion or their thoughts at this time, given what's just happened, that the floor is all yours.
And Mike, this is Joe Sebastiano. Yeah, I'm not in a position to chair it. I mean, basically, I'm in shock as well. So I guess we're in a position where we might not be able to continue tonight for the reasons you just stated and for the unfortunate news we've just learned. So under whatever protocols we can discuss how we proceed, we need to know how we can, put the stake down if we have to and move on. So I look to Richard, if you can help us, Stephanie, if you can help us, what are our options here?
Sure. The quick option would be to continue all these matters to the April 21st, the next ZBA meeting. You will have to wait, as you know, until each, I don't know what time it is right now, 7:13. Well, actually in 2 minutes, you'll be able to address each one of them. We can, obviously, for those who are on that have a hearing before them, actually.
Yeah. Let me ask, what does our calendar for April look like in terms of just simply moving these to April?
There is room to do that. We will make room. Before we do that, though, so let's take them in order. There is a continuance request for 35 Pine Street.
Yeah.
So
and one last question is that should we first, amongst us board members, we have to determine, I know Mike is the assistant or the follow-up chair. Mike, would you continue to be the chair come April is the question.
I don't know, Joe. I mean, this is a major league curveball, and I want to try to understand what's going on behind the scenes. And I think I'll have a conversation one-on-one with you and Tim. And I think we might have to talk about reorganizing the board.
Sure.
And get that straightened out first. I think that's the first order of business is to figure out how we're going to reorganize our board. I mean, we can't do that on the fly. And, the chairman is the one that runs these meetings. Chris would have been prepared, or probably was prepared to run this meeting tonight, know in detail what each one of these is about. I'm clearly not prepared tonight to go into depth on each one of these hearings. And so it'd be unfair to the applicants. And therefore, I think based on what Rich has suggested, that we continue these.
Right, and I agree. I mean, we'll have to discuss beyond tonight what to do with the board. Only because I mentioned it only because we, to go into April without knowing what we're doing would be very important. Not being a retired person myself, working full time outside of all this, only a volunteer here. I know that I wouldn't immediately step up to be the chair here if that's what has to happen. But yeah, we need to discuss that outside. But yes, Rich, let's move on to our options
Yeah.
to do the continuance.
All right. So what we can do is, so for the first matter is 7 p.m. is 35 Pine Street. There was a continuance submitted by Attorney Shaughnessy on behalf of their client, Mr. Quiglieri. Mr. Quiglieri is here tonight. I think, well, for continuing.
I got a text from Al. He can't get into the meeting.
No, I'm in the meeting.
Okay, all right.
Sorry,
All right.
Mike.
All right,
So,
good.
so that would be the first one to continue. The next item on the agenda, it's the first hearing. So what I would ask the board to do is open that hearing, read it into the record, then continue that one. You have a continuance for 5 Lakeshore Drive. You can vote to continue that one. There was a request submitted by the applicant. 30 Birch Road is a new application, so we need you to read that, open that, read that notice, and put it into the record and continue that to April 21st. And then 8 West Birch Road is a continuance, so you could vote to continue that one to the April 21st meeting. And I think what we would do is, as far as the organizational things, I think we probably should set up a separate meeting in between, between now and I'll check your schedules and see what, let's talk. I'll talk it over with Mike and we can.
Okay.
set up another.
That's fine. That's agreed. That's all good, Rich.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should. We'll set another meeting just for a reorganization. I know that I'm like Joe. I'm working 70 hours a week, and to be the chair again is out of the question. For me, it takes a lot of time. People don't realize how much I did the chair for 6 years, and it's 20 hours a week and sometimes longer. I don't have 20 hours a week to be an effective chair. So yeah, we'll have a separate meeting, Rich, to sort this all out. Okay, and in terms of, we've got the most important meeting that I think we've got to reschedule is 35 Pine. That's a 40B. The clock is ticking on that. That has to be our top priority right now, is to get that rescheduled first. And if we need to push some of these others out beyond April, then so be it. But none of these others are 40B projects. The 40B has a state clock ticking, and that's hanging over our heads. That's our top priority at this moment, to reschedule that one.
Right. So, Rich, is the motion for 35 Pine Street to move to the meeting to April 21st at 7 p.m.?
Yes.
We could always vote. We could always vote to approve it. The schedule.
Yeah, I understand. But I'll make the motion, though, that, again, based on all the circumstances tonight, I make a motion that we move the 35 Pine Street comprehensive permit hearing, continue it to April 21st at 7 p.m.
Do I hear a second? Tim, did you second that?
Who can second?
Tim seconded it.
Can you do a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Joe?
Yes, aye.
Yeah.
Yes. Tim? I think, Tim, you're muted, Tim.
Is he raising his hand?
I'm back now. Okay, Tim.
Okay.
Yes. Josie? Josie's not here. Mike Kaliza, yes.
Josephine's here. Aye. Yes.
Okay. Mike Kaliza, yes. All in favor? It sounds like we're all in favor, so the motion passed.
And Rich, that's 4 of us, right? That's all we need, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
Thank you. All right, being it's already after 7, I could read in this 4 Pine Street, open the hearing.
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay, so, all right, I can see that, thank you. All right, so notice hereby given in accordance with Chapter 40A of the Massachusetts General Laws and all amendments thereto, in accordance with the Governor's Order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, relating to the 2020 novel coronavirus outbreak emergency, that a public hearing will be held by the Zoning Board of Appeals on March 17, 2021. This meeting shall be physically closed to the public to avoid group congregation. Alternative public access to this meeting shall be utilizing the Zoom virtual meeting software for remote access. The meeting will be recorded for future rebroadcast by the Norfolk Community Television. Michael Sullivan at 7 p.m. for a special permit pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 48, Section 9 is amended, and Section F4A of the Norfolk zoning bylaws to allow the alteration or enlargement of an existing non-conforming structure which does violate the setback coverage or height requirements of Section E1B, but does not violate those requirements to a greater extent than the original structure. Property is located at 4 Pine Road, Assessors Map 12, Block 62, Lot 102, 103.
Thank you, Joe.
Read in, thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Joe, would you make a motion to schedule this hearing for April 21st?
7:15?
7:15.
Okay, so moved. So yes, motion to move this hearing to April 21st at 7:15.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Did somebody
We'll have-
second it?
We'll have to roll call vote.
Yeah, did somebody second?
Roll call vote. Joe?
Well, confirm who seconded, Mike. Who seconded the motion? Who seconded the
Okay.
motion?
Second.
Oh, Tim did. So Tim seconded, Rich.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, so the four of us
Roll.
unanimously aye, if that's okay.
Aye. Yes.
Roll
Yeah.
call.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Mike, roll
Joe?
call. Aye,
Joe?
Joe Sebastiano.
Tim?
Tim Martin, aye.
Josie?
Aye. Josephine.
Mike Kaliza, aye. Okay, it is unanimous. All right, so that's, what else, how many more do we have to reschedule? I don't want to overpack the 21st meeting. Stephanie, what do we have left? 1, 2, 3 other hearings that night?
Yeah, you can, so 5 Lakeshore Drive, they did request a continuance. We did get a time to act extension on that one already, so if you wanted to do that one, well, Mike,
We
an
move that one
option,
to-
Mike, a second potential option, if you wanted to, is if you want to continue it to the 21st and then do have another meeting, or just continue it to the May meeting. It's a couple options you have if you wanted to,
Yeah,
or just move it to May.
what's the board's pleasure on Lake Shore?
Just one question, Mike. What else was on the agenda for the 21st besides what we just continued there?
We've got 35 Pine and 4 Pine Road. We have those 2 right now, correct?
Right, but what else was on there already, if anything was already put on that agenda?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
Nothing
Okay, so, all right, so,
Nobody's seen nothing yet.
okay, so,
Let's move all these to that agenda that evening.
What's that?
I would just recommend we move all these to the next meeting.
yeah, but Mike's cautioning something very important here. We're probably gonna have a bit of a discussion and additional information for 35 Pine Street. It'll be a busy meeting just on 35 Pine Street.
Yeah, I can see 35 Pine being a couple hours or at least 2 hours. I mean, that's going to take up most of the night. My thought is, and listen, I'll let the board members weigh in. My thought is to push Lakeshore, Birch, and West Birch Road off until May.
I feel the same way, Mike, because I feel we need to give diligence to the 35 Pine Street. And like I said, that's a long discussion that could take a couple hours.
Yeah,
Is
or
there a
longer.
chance that the members would like to have a second meeting in April?
I think we need to know what's happening with the reorganization, though. We're not prepared to say we're ready for a double meeting this in April.
No,
It'll be a lot. I think we have a lot on our plate to try to gear up for the next meeting.
Understood. Point taken. All right. So Lakeshore could go to May. 30 Birch, you will need to open up that hearing and read it.
Okay. Joe, do you want to read that into the record?
Yeah, just one. Well, when you say you're going to continue the first one, the Lakeshore, do we have to make a motion?
Yes.
So let's make the motion to move the Lakeshore. I don't see the agenda again, but we want to move that to May. I need a time and a date.
The date is May 19th.
All right, so I make a motion that we continue 5 Lakeshore Drive, the 3 special permits and 1 variance to May, you said 19th?
Correct.
Should we do it 7 p.m.?
Sure. Come on.
Yeah, so at 7 p.m. is the motion.
Do I hear a
Need a
second?
Second,
Thank you, Tim. Do we need a roll call on this, Stephanie, or just an aye?
You'll need a roll call vote.
Joe,
Yes, Joe Sebastiano, aye.
Tim,
Tim Martin, aye.
Josephine,
Josephine Kordahi, aye.
Mike Kaliza, aye. It is unanimous.
And being I'm about to reopen the hearing for 30 Birch Street, my question is, we're going to open and then continue it for 2 months right now. We're going to go out to May. I'm wondering if we should at least open it and maybe hear a little bit of it on the April, maybe? I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
What, Steph, can you put that agenda back up for me? Which one, Joe?
I'm about to open the meeting for 30 Birch Road and then continue it for 2 months. So I'm asking is, do we
Right.
want to maybe take a few moments next meeting? It'll be at the end of the meeting though, after 35 Pine. But I don't know, just like 4 Pine Street, we've moved that to April. Do we want to at least give a chance for 30 Birch to present April, just so enough so we can take in the data and maybe, or just go ahead, continue it for the 2 months?
I would like to, if you don't mind, it would be nice if you could indulge that at the April meeting, because this, just quickly before we open the hearing, I mean, you could open the hearing, I could tell you, but they're coming back because it's a demolition reconstruction as opposed to an alteration. So you had already previously issued a permit, but it was an alteration extension. This is a demolition reconstruction. So you've already had history on this one. So I
Right.
don't think it's a heavy lift.
Yeah, just so you know though, the hearings for 4 Pine Road and for 30 Birch Road, being that they're after 35 Pine Street, they could be sitting around till almost 10 or 11 before we open there or get back to them. Is that okay?
I'm presuming the applicant probably would be okay with that. And
Right,
so-
but they'll have to wait through the 35 Pine being ahead of them. Just a FYI. I mean, I know it's a
Sure.
long,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it won't be that long, but I'm just being realistic. That's all.
No, understood.
All right. What do you think,
All right.
Mike? Should we open it and put it on the agenda for April? We can always continue it if something happens.
Yeah, what's the pleasure of the board?
I feel, taking in consideration the applicant, we should at least maybe take a shot at trying to listen on the April if we can.
Tim?
I'm the applicant from 30 Birch Road.
Yeah, I'd be happy to try to fit it in. I know it'll be a long night, but
Yep.
no, or
Yeah, for
could
the
we move some of these around on time wise? Could we go through the 4 Pine, put 35 Pine Street, try to, allot 20 minutes, a half an hour, whatever it's appropriate on these 4, and then go to 35 Pine after that. So that might be, 8:30 or 9 o'clock. Just an idea. I think Al stays up late, so he won't mind.
Yeah. I'm still okay. I'm still okay with starting the meeting with 35 Pine Street.
Yeah, we've got Dan Hill coming from out of town council.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
I think we gotta get Dan in going and get 35 Pine going at 7, Tim.
All right.
Okay.
So let's put 30 Birch on for 7:30 on the April 21st, if you guys agree.
Okay,
I'll make the
let's do
motion.
that.
All right. So I make a motion that, I have to read it in first.
Yes, please.
All right, let me read it in first. So if you can put that up, Stephanie, I'll read it. Okay. Can I skip over the Zoom meeting part of this, Stephanie? Can I just read the meeting?
Yeah, so from
Yeah,
here
right, perfect.
forward.
Yeah. So, all right. So notice the public hearing, Oliver Gleiser at 7:10 p.m. for a special permit pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 9 is amended, and Section F4B of the Norfolk zoning bylaws to allow the demolition and reconstruction of an existing non-conforming single-family residence, which does violate the setback coverage or height requirements of Section E1B, but does not violate those requirements to a greater extent than the original structure. The property is located at 30 Birch Road, Assessors Map 19, Block 62, lot 42, and is in the R3 zoning district. All right, so I'm gonna make a motion when you're ready, Mike.
Yes, motion to continue, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a motion that we continue this hearing to 7:30 on April 21st at 7:30 PM.
Second,
Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Joe,
Aye.
Tim,
Tim Martin, aye.
Josephine,
Aye.
Mike Kaliza, aye.
And I guess for H Birch Road, we just push this out to May. Is that okay, Rich?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right, so I can just make the motion now, Rich?
Yes.
Okay, so I make a motion that we continue the hearing for 8 West Birch Road for 3 variances to May 19th at 7:15.
Second,
Yeah. Roll call, Mike.
Joe,
Aye, Joe Sebastiano.
Tim,
Tim Martin, aye.
Josephine,
Josephine Kordahay, aye.
Mike Kaliza, aye. All right. So we've moved everything forward, correct, Stephanie?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, so why don't we take a few days? Do you gentlemen and ladies want to set a date for our meeting to talk about how we reorganize and how we move forward, and if we move forward and all those sorts of issues? Do you want to, we can do one or two things. I can talk with you one-on-one, and then we can get your ideas on how you want to proceed, or do you want to have an open public meeting on how to reorganize and hash these things out in public? I mean, I can get everyone's sense of what they want to do, and then we can go public and discuss it, obviously in open. What would you think is the best track? I mean, I'm at a loss here on what to do. This is a curveball that I was not expecting. None of us were expecting, so I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants right now, to be honest with you.
Let me ask Rich. Rich, what do we have? Can we have any discussion between ourselves without being in public, or what do we do here?
No, you have to, Mike can talk to you one-off if he wants to, but you can't, that's it. You have to,
Okay, well,
you have to be,
yeah.
You can't talk offline except one-off. So if he
Okay.
talks to you and then you go, then you would schedule a meeting and then come back together and talk it through.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Mike, I'll make myself available most evenings after 7 PM. I'll let you guys, I'll be flexible if you guys want to find a date that works best for people.
Is there any way we can have some sort of executive session so that we can restructure?
No, it has to be done in open session.
But we can have, Mike can contact us individually, right? And we can discuss between now and
Yeah, he
target
could-
dates.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Yeah, he could talk. He could talk to you one-on-one.
Right.
Is everyone comfortable with that? If I reach out to you over the next few days and have a one-on-one?
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Very
Okay.
much.
So let's go down that road. I'll have a one-on-one with each one of you, get what you're thinking and understand where everybody is. And I can share with you what my thoughts are, and then we'll publicly discuss everything that I have one-on-one conversations about. So,
Sure.
all right. Now,
Should we set-
before we
set,
wrap
Mike,
up,
target date? Should we set a target date for that public discussion? Maybe not too far out. I'd be afraid to get too deep into the month
Yeah.
before the next meeting.
I was hoping to get us, I mean, if everyone wants to throw some dates out now, or we can, when I talk to you one-on-one, I can try to get a consensus of what dates will work for everyone. I mean, we can always do it at noontime before, if everyone's available at noontime. We don't necessarily have to do it at night. As long as if we advertise it in plenty of time, Stephanie, we can do a noontime meeting if everyone's available for a quick meeting. We can do something like that. I just want to get a sense of, we can talk about those things one-on-one.
Sure.
Mike, if it makes sense, I can discuss with you offline and figure out how we can coordinate this best, just to save
All right.
time, right?
Okay,
Okay.
Stephanie, I like that idea. Let's do that.
Okay. Agreed.
Okay, I think since we've done this important stuff, getting everything moved, I'm going to suggest that approving the minutes can wait. The new business, new old business can wait. I just, I'm in no, quite frankly, I'm in no mood to go on any further tonight, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Just one note,
Everyone
Stephanie.
okay?
Just Stephanie, one note. I see here on the bottom, April 14th. We've been moving meetings to the 21st, correct?
Yes, we are moving meetings. That, I believe, is a typo.
Okay, just wanted to make that note. Thank you.
Okay, before we wrap up tonight, and Joe, I'm going to ask you to close the meeting in just a minute. I just want to say, I was personally, I think we all were very sad to hear that Chris resigned tonight. I want everyone to know that he was an outstanding chairman. His knowledge of our bylaws, of our town bylaws, was probably second to none. He had an in-depth knowledge that went so deep, and he was a tireless chairman. He would spend 20 or 30 hours. So when we have big 40B projects going, he was spending 20 or 30 hours a week in meetings at town hall with the applicants. Just a tireless individual who went all out for this town. And so that's why this resignation tonight is throwing us all for a loop. He did an outstanding job, and I want everyone in town to know what an outstanding person he is as chairman, and all the hard work he's done for this town over the past few years. And I'll leave it at that. Joe, if you want to make a motion to close it. Any other thoughts, Joe? You've worked with Chris for a long time.
My thoughts are exactly the same, Mike. I mean, the reason I'm only a clerk on this board, even though I've been here, I think almost 20 years, I don't have the time or the depth of knowledge that someone like Chris and either yourself earlier have on the zoning bylaws. So I rely heavily on the skills of the chairman that we've had, both you and Chris. So yes, this is very, very unsettling at the moment, and we need to discuss how we might be able to restructure, because it was that type of leadership that made us a very good functioning board. So definitely an issue we have to tackle with, and very concerned and disappointed at the moment. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Tim, any thoughts?
Yeah, I was caught off guard tonight. I've batted heads with Chris on the board and everybody here a lot, in a good way. I've only been on the board for a relatively short time, but during my time here, I've always been treated more than fair. And he brought a level of professionalism and decorum to the meeting, and it's going to be tough to replace that if we can. So, I appreciate the hard work you put in, and like the rest of you, I'm a little bit surprised.
Josephine?
Yeah, I'm at a loss for words. I know that he spent a lot of time on the board. It requires a commitment. He's been very kind to me, and he did welcome me graciously to the board. I'm sorry to see him go.
All right. I'll make the motion, Mike.
Thank you, Joe.
All right. I'll make the motion that we close the meeting for March 17th, ZBA. I'm sorry, go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I just want to say a couple words if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Rich.
Rich, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to exclude you.
No,
I didn't want to put you on the spot.
No, I understood. I mean, it is a shock, I think, to everybody else. I think I really do appreciate the time, being a volunteer on these boards, and particularly the work you have all gone through over the past years is really, really challenging. And I think he's done a really good job of that. And not everybody's going to agree on everything that's being done, but the work that you put in, that's put in behind the scenes, is quite immense. And I'm sorry to see things going this way, because again, you had tackled some major projects in this town since I've been here. So I'm sure him and I didn't always agree either, but he was always professional to me, and I appreciated that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Rich.
All right. I'll make a motion that we close the ZBA meeting for March 17th at 7:40 PM.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
Stephanie, do we need a roll call or can we do I?
You do need a roll call.
Really?
All right. I'm trying to get out of this.
I know, I
Joe,
know.
Yes, aye.
Tim,
Tim Martin, aye.
Josephine,
Josephine Kordahi, aye.
Mike Kaliza, aye. Okay, it's unanimous. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Good night.
Steph, I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.